Now we have just studied prostate gland. It becomes easy for you to understand certain features of urethra. So this is urinary bladder. This is pubic symphysis. Okay, and then you are finding at the neck of the urinary bladder. This is all prostatic urethra.
Prostate
Isn't
gland.
it? Now this area is urogenital diaphragm. Okay, this area urogenital diaphragm. The part of urethra which is passing through urogenital diaphragm, you call it as membranous urethra. Membranous urethra. And the part of the urethra which is coming out through penis, male external genitalia, you call this as penile urethra. Also called as spongy urethra. Spongy urethra. So the urethra is extending from this point. This point is internal urethral orifice, where median lobe of prostate may obstruct, no, that point. Internal urethral orifice at the apex of the trigone, okay, to external urethral orifice. ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇక్కడ వరకు, ఫ్రమ్ హియర్ ఇంటర్నల్ యురేథ్రల్ ఆరిఫిస్ టు external urethral orifice. This area is glans penis, this one. Okay, so in flaccid state, that means flaccid, that means it is when it is in closed state, when urine is not passing, it is something like this sigmoid shaped doubled curve it is. Okay, then now let us see the parts of the urethra. I have told you in this direction, this is true direction. This is for our understanding, we are drawing it like this. See, this is urinary bladder, this is the internal urethral sphincter point. So this is prostate gland. We know prostatic urethra. Just above prostate, you call it as pre-prostatic urethra. In the urogenital diaphragm, the part of the urethra is membranous urethra. In the penis, the journey is called spongy urethra, also called as penile urethra. Here you have a orifice, opening, sphincter, you call external urethral orifice or external urethral sphincter. Okay. So what is the total length of the urethra? Male urethra is quite lengthy, 18 to 20 centimeters. That's why catheterization. What is catheterization? Like if suppose urine, if the patient has been undertaken some surgery, generally one catheter will be kept inside the urinary bladder and it will be connected to a drainage bag, isn't it? So such like procedure of catheterization is very difficult in males. Female urethra is only 4 centimeters. This we do not have prostate also. It is very easy to catheterize a female, whereas it is highly difficult to catheterize a male because the urethra is not even in straight line. It is sinuously curved, S-shaped it is, right? So we have to be very careful while passing catheter into the male urethra and see that we are not damaging it. Okay. So the total length of the urethra is 18 to 20 centimeters, of which prostatic part of the urethra is 3 centimeters. Pre-prostatic part is 1.5 centimeters. Membranous is the one which is passing through urogenital diaphragm, right? So the anterior wall is 2 centimeters and posterior wall is 1.25 centimeters. And spongy urethra, the last like lengthy part of the urethra, how much is it measuring? 15 centimeters. Okay, then so that is all about the urethra. And now coming to the breadth. See, catheterization is very difficult. I said, see how much breadth it has. At a maximum only 6 mm, not even 1 centimeter. That means 0.5 centimeters it has, isn't it? So that is minimum breadth you will see at the external urethral orifice, which is at 4 mm. Okay. Then next minimum is at the membranous part of the urethra, 5 mm. The maximum width of the urethra is with prostate gland, where we saw the openings of the prostatic utricle, prostatic sinuses, ejaculatory duct. That area is quite wide. That is maximum breadth it has. That is 8 mm. Okay. So this is the prostatic part. And see, this is also like important slide only, beta, like urethral lumen on cross section. There may be a separate question on this. Okay, so the pre-prostatic urethra, the shape of This is prostatic part of urethra. Above this is the pre-prostatic. The pre-prostatic part of urethra is star-shaped, stellate. Okay, prostatic part of the urethra, it looks half moon shaped. Okay, also called as crescent. Okay, crescentic with convexity in front. Okay, then membranous part of urethra is again stellate or irregular. Spongy is the one which is passing through penis, right? So spongy has different shapes. See, this is the bulb of penis, this area. It is the bulb of penis where it is trapezium shaped. Okay, this is the body of penis. Okay, so in the body of penis it is transverse slit. Body of penis, it is like transverse slit. This is glans penis. Glans penis, at the base of glans penis it is inverted T shaped. Inverted T shaped. At the external orifice it is like this vertical slit, also called as sagittal slit. Sagittal slit. That means the shape of the urethra, when you cut transverse section and see, it's quite different. Okay. So significance of irregular lumen of the urethra is it makes the flow of urine projectile in character. Okay. So irregular lumen induces spiral twist in urinary outflow and prevents early separation of droplets of urine. Okay. So that is. So now each part of the urethra, like pre-prostatic is 1.5 centimeters long. Only one point I want you to remember is at this point we have a muscle modification, that smooth muscle modifies to form a sphincter, that is internal urethral sphincter. Actually, this internal urethral sphincter is like closely, like tightly closing during the process of ejaculation. Ejaculation is a part of sexual intercourse. So this internal urethral sphincter, when it is tightly closing this inlet, what is happening? Like the seminal fluid will not be able to regurgitate back into urinary bladder. Semen will not enter into urinary bladder because of the closure of internal urethral sphincter during ejaculation. Okay, this is our internal urethral sphincter, which is seen at the level of pre-prostatic urethra. Prostatic urethra, 3 centimeters long. Okay, so this is the widest among all and most dilatable part. What are the three openings? This I told you in my previous prostate lecture just now. We have prostatic utricles, prostatic sinuses, and ejaculatory duct. Two ejaculatory duct openings, and this is prostatic utricle. These are all prostatic sinuses. Okay. Okay. Now see here, there is one midline elevation in the prostatic urethra. So this midline elevation is colliculus seminalis, also called as seminal colliculus. Seminal colliculus, colliculus seminalis. Okay, and there is small sharp raised ridge here. This small sharp raised ridge is called as urethral crest. Urethral crest. Okay, this same picture I kept so that you don't get confused. Prostatic utricle we have and openings of ejaculatory duct. These are all prostatic sinuses which are opening. So prostatic urethra itself can be a 5 marks question. So you are supposed to draw this picture, and this midline elevation you call it as colliculus seminalis. Verumontanum is another word, you need not remember such complicated terms. Okay. So we see prostatic utricle, which is the midline is the prostatic utricle, no? So which is bringing the secretions of prostate. Then on either side we have the ejaculatory duct openings. These are all in gutter, as though so many are there. These are prostatic sinuses. Okay. So now based on the prostatic urethra also, you can just name the lobes of prostate. Anteriorly to this prostatic urethra, you call it as anterior lobe. Behind we have posterior lobe. In the center we have median lobe. On either side we have lateral lobes. These are the lobes of prostate. One more way. Now coming to membranous urethra, which part? Very small. The one which is passing through urogenital diaphragm. Only this much part. Narrow. Okay, it is passing through deep perineal pouch. Okay, then. So membranous part. mm, See, this is the membranous part at the neck of the prostate, like at the apex of the prostate gland. This is the urogenital diaphragm, and this transition zone is the membranous part. Okay. Now, after the membranous part, only this much area is, you can see this is pre-prostatic, this is prostatic, this is membranous, and this is penile part of the urethra. Okay. So membranous urethra is actually surrounded by a muscle called as sphincter urethrae. The name of the muscle you have here is sphincter urethrae. On either side of the membranous urethra, we have this gland. You call it as bulbourethral gland. Okay, bulbourethral gland. Okay, in front we have dorsal vein of penis. This is all spongy urethra, also called as penile urethra in the penis. Okay, so it is basically, when you see the cut section of penis, we have like carpora cavernosa and carpora spongiosa. Okay, within the middle area is actually called as carpora spongiosa. So in the center of carpora spongiosa, you will see penile urethra is running, which is 15 centimeters long. Okay, and finally it is ending here. Okay, this is the bulb of the penis, and here you will have glans penis. Okay, the glans penis, here you have navicular fossa. It's quite wide here, it is 1.25 centimeters long. At the bulb also it is quite wide, intrabulbar fossa, it is 3 centimeters. Okay. Now, if you just see, like, of course, urine smells bad only. Okay, when the urine is passing through the urethra, inside the urethra, many urethral glands are there, also called as Litter's glands. Litter's glands are there, which are actually opening. They are adding the secretions to the urine. Okay, which gives little bad odor. Okay. So we have two sphincters, I said. We have internal urethral sphincter and external urethral sphincter. Internal urethral sphincter you will see with the pre-prostatic urethra, and external urethral sphincter is seen with urogenital diaphragm. Okay. So internally is involuntary. That means, like if we are getting urine very fast, we cannot close this. It is not under our control, whereas externally is actually under our control. When we are ready for the act, then only this external urethral sphincter will relax and it will allow the urine to come out. Okay, I told you in urethra of female is very short. It is only 4 centimeters long, and it travels a slightly curved course as it passes inferiorly through pelvic floor. Only this much. That's why catheterization is very easy in case of females. Only 4 centimeters, whereas that was around 18.5 centimeters long. You need not learn these complicated pictures, not required at all. Waste pictures, these are only for our explanation. So blood supply of this urethra, we have inferior vesical artery, middle rectal artery, internal pudendal. One or two names you remember better. Veins are corresponding to the arteries. Lymphatic drainage, prostatic lymph nodes, like prostatic and membranous part of the urethra, they are draining into internal and external iliac lymph node. Always remember what are the nearby lymph nodes. Same names you write. Definitely it will be correct only. Spongy part of urethra is going into external iliac. Nerve supply, sympathetic hypogastric plexus, parasympathetic pelvic splanchnic nerves. Coming to the applied anatomy, sometimes suppose if we are not doing like catheterization properly, in case of hospitalized male patient, the urethra may rupture. So when urethra is ruptured, the urine will extravasate. It may get collected in the scrotal sac like this. That's what is extravasation of urine. It may get ruptured in the bulb of penis. just below the urogenital diaphragm. Suppose if the person is falling from a height or if due to some falling on some sharp object, okay, it may be crushed against the edge of pubic bones. Okay, this is the pubic bones. So if it is getting crushed, there may be extravasation of urine. Okay, so like we have see this whole area, whatever is shown in orange color, normally urine should come out like this. Unfortunately, urethra is ruptured and it is filling around the scrotum, it is filling in the anterior abdominal wall, isn't it? So these are all abnormal areas where the urine may get collected, okay, in the true pelvis region. So that is extravasation. So catheterization of male urethra. You can see how the catheter is allowed to enter into the urinary bladder. Okay. So like very careful we have to be, because we should know the normal curvatures of the urethra. Okay. So that we are not damaging it. Okay. So that is all about this. So after this, let me share which topic. Pericardium I will take better, because brainstem will be little tough and you need a fresh mind to understand that. Tomorrow I will take. Okay.